Hey guys, welcome to this video. My name is John Watts. I'm a consumer protection lawyer, and I had a Zoom trial which was supposed to be about 2 minutes ago, and it got moved. So that's why I'm in a tie. But I thought I would do this video before I sort of take care of other things. And this really has to do with how do we do disputes under the Fair Credit Reporting Act to fix errors on our credit reports. And I want to approach it kind of in a different way. And so imagine that I go to you and I say, hey, will you help me dispute some false information on my credit report? And let's assume you're very nice and you say, sure, John, I'll help you. And I say, okay, can you write it for me? You probably say, well, John, we need to know what the errors are. And I say, well, there are 3 accounts that have false information on my credit report. Can you go ahead and fix those? And you'd say, well, which accounts are they? I say, well, it's Capital One, it's Bank of America, and it's Portfolio Recovery. Can you go ahead and write it? You say, well, I appreciate you telling me which accounts, but I need to know more details. And I said, well, I don't know. It's just that they got false information. And I think you would say to me, John, look, you got to pull your credit reports. And I say, oh, well, I've got some kind of monitoring thing that I pulled on my cell phone, and it looks like it's negative information. You say, well, that can be helpful, but we really need your real reports from annualcreditreport.com. You can pull them for free once a week. I go, great. And so I call you back and I say, hey, I was able to answer security questions. I looked at all of them. There are errors on there, and can you go ahead and write that letter for me? I'd say, well, can you send me the reports? I go, well, no, I just looked at them. I didn't save them. You go, well, John, you got to save them. But, save them to PDF so I can look at them. So, the next week, because you can pull them once a week, I pull my reports, I save them, and I send them to you. And you say, okay, I got your reports, John. What's wrong with these accounts? And I go, well, they're wrong. You go, well, no, I need to know specifically what's wrong. And I go, well, look, just dispute it and say it's wrong. Just put in there, they're not my account. And you go, well, John, are they your account? I go, well, yeah, of course they're my account. But just put that in there. I read that somewhere on the internet. You go, no. We got to be honest when we do these disputes. And I say, okay, well, just put that they should verify the debt. And I saw in a video they can't ever verify the debt, so they'll come off. And you go, well, no, we need to put specifically what's wrong. And so, you convince me of this, and we go through the reports, and we go Capital One. And you say, what's wrong specifically with Capital One? And I say, well, it's got errors in it, and it's negative. It's hurting my credit score. You go, I understand that. But John, what's wrong with the report? Is it the payment history? Is it the balance? Is it the date opened? Is it joint versus individual, authorized? Like what's wrong with it? And so I finally tell you what's wrong with it. And so you say, okay, great. You type that up and you say, now we got the Capital One. Now let's look at Bank of America. And I say, well, just put that it has errors in it. You go, no, John, we just went through this with Capital One. Tell me specifically what's wrong with Bank of America. And so we look at the 3 credit reports, and we use a spreadsheet. And by the way, if you want the spreadsheet, just email me, and I'll be glad to send that to you. It's just john@wattsherring.com, or you can go to my website, Alabama Consumer, and get that. Just fill out the contact form. But so we do this, and so you list it there. And then for Midland, same thing. And then I say to you, okay, great, thanks for preparing those letters. So when will it be fixed? And you say, well, John, did you mail the letters? I say, yeah, I mailed the letters. And you say, well, did you mail them certified like I told you to? Of course not. I'm not going to spend $8. My credit report, my credit score is not worth $8 per certified mail letter. Come on. And you go, well, John, here's the problem. You mailed them, but we can't prove the bureau's got them. And if we can't prove the bureau's got them, then we have no ability to sue them if they don't fix it. And I go, well, they're not going to lie, are they? And you go, John, if they're willing to put false information on your credit report, don't you think they're willing to lie about getting a letter in the mail that we have absolutely no proof that they received? Okay, so then I mail them certified. And you say, look, John, you should get a result, in the mail 30, 45 days from now. When you do, call me. And so I never call you. And you call me and you say, John, did you get those results? I go, yeah, I got them. I think they kept them. Maybe they fixed something. I'm not sure. I just sort of looked at it and threw it away. What do you think about it? And you go, John, how would I know what they sent you? I go, well, you helped me. You go, yeah, but the letter, John, was in your name. They're not going to send it to you. And I go, oh, well, I just assumed you would get it. Well, I tell you, let's just look online. I'm sure it's there. And you go, well, maybe not. Okay. And so let's say we find it on like myequifax.com. I call Experian and TransUnion, and they resend it to me. And I say, okay, I got it. What do I do next? And you say, well, John, you have to send it to me so I can see it. And I go, well, I mean, it looks like I think they're maybe kind of keeping it or may have made some changes. But anyway, let's just sue them. Can we sue them? You go, John, I got to look at them. So, okay. So I scan them into you. And then at that point, we can have a conversation. Now, you may say, well, John, this is very silly. You're exaggerating this. Trust me, if I'm exaggerating it, it's the sort of the opposite way. I mean, we have people that, we used to give them the letters. Say, you go take this to the post office. And we still do, depending on who it is. And, 6 months later, they would call and say, I'm really upset because, my credit report's not fixed. And you told me those letters would help. And if it didn't fix it, then we could sue them. And I go, well, did you get the results of investigation back? They go, no. And I think, that's kind of a stupid question, but did you mail the letters? Well, no, they're in the backseat of my car. I'm like, they got to get from your car to the credit bureaus, okay? And so my point with this sort of silly video is you got to pull your reports to know if there's an error. You can't just say, well, my score's low, so there must be something wrong, so I want to sue. No, you got to pull your reports. You've got to save those reports. You've got to study those reports. Find out the errors. The easiest way is to use a spreadsheet. You can make your own, or I've got one I'll be glad to give to you for free. And you put, here's what Equifax says, here's what TransUnion says, here's what Experian says about the date open, the date of last payment, the balance, like every field, every little area where there's data on your credit report should be on that spreadsheet. If I miss something, just add it and let me know, and that way I'll fix it. But you got to put it on there and see the inconsistencies, see the errors. Now, if you know that, for example, you paid off your Capital One card 6 months ago and it still shows a balance, well, we're not going to be able to tell that from the credit report. You have to know that. Okay, so you go, well, wait a minute. I got this letter from Capital One. It said, pay me $1,000 and you're settled. I paid them the $1,000. Here's my bank record showing the money went out of my account by the deadline. Well, great. Let's use that. And then we have to send it to the credit bureaus so they get it. Now, we could do that online. We could do it by fax. We could do it by letter. Whatever you do, you got to make sure that you can prove that they received it. Not, well, I'm going to trust them that their online records will show. No, don't trust these people. If they're willing to do false credit reporting, they're willing to change their records. Okay? So if you do it online, do a screen record, do a Zoom with yourself and record your screen so you can show exactly what you uploaded, what box you checked. If you do it by mail, do it by certified mail. If you do it by fax, make sure you get a confirmation. It's not the best, but it's at least something. And then when you get those results back, you've got to save those results. I can't tell you how many people get the results back, they throw them away, and they call me, 2, 4, 5 weeks later and say, John, what are we going to do on my credit reports? And I go, well, did you get the results? They're like, yep. I said, well, send them to me. Oh, I threw them away. Well, why'd you throw them away? I don't know. I didn't want to keep the paper. I mean, it's crazy. So you got to keep the results, and then you have to study it and say, did they do everything right? So they fixed it or they deleted it. If they did not do everything right, should I dispute it again or should I sue? What should I do? So hopefully this helps you just to give you sort of a framework for how do you handle this stuff. Pull your reports, save your reports, study your reports, do the dispute. Make sure you can prove that the dispute was received. Get the results back, and then decide, is everything good? Hey, that's great. You fixed it for what, like $8, for each certified mail letter to Equifax, Experian, Trade Union, Innovis, wherever you send it? Or do you need to dispute again? Maybe they say, well, you didn't give us this document, or, something has come back and you're like, well, maybe I could reword my dispute. That's fine. Or if you gave them notice and they just did a lousy investigation, sue them. Okay. So hope that this is helpful, and just leave me any comments you have. Now, if you want to reach out to me directly, you can go to alabamaconsumer.com, and there's a contact us section there, and you can fill that out. Just keep in mind, if you're in another state, I'm only licensed in Alabama. So if you're in another state, I can look at what you've got, and it may be we can file suit in Alabama. We can sue Equifax, Experian, Trade Union, in Alabama because they do business here. Or it may be that we need to get you a lawyer in your state, or you may want me to co-counsel with a lawyer in your state. So just keep that in mind. If you're not from Alabama, we've got to look at that and make sure it would make sense for us to help you either in Alabama or with a lawyer in your state. So you guys have a great day, and I will talk to you soon. Bye-bye.